like bees.
In today's world, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Google, the media in general is principally in the business of storytelling, whether through journalism, fictional narrative entertainment, reality TV, video games, and even music videos. The kinds of stories that are spotlighted about minorities tend to be mostly false. The media contributes to the denial component of racial sentiments, mostly by what they usually omit. Although it still needs a lot of work, we have come a long way. In this film project, me and my partners dive right into the realm of how has the portrayal of minorities in the media changed? To get to the root of this topic, we've had the honor of having some of our closest friends and influencers in our own lives answer some questions that visualize what we as a society believe is happening even in today's world in 2020.
As a Black woman in the military, do you think the media has done a good job in spotlighting women's success from where they've come from?
I genuinely don't think they have. Like, we've all seen on Twitter, the Black woman does this or she does this, but that's because, that's who we're following on Twitter. In other instances, like you see on the media, they can portray the victim as the bad guy and the bad guy as the good guy. It just depends on who's actually filtering the information. I mean, yes, we have come a long way, but not that far.
How was your experience in the military?
It's not terrible, but it's not the world's greatest either. So it honestly depends on where you are. So when I first started out, I was in Anniston, Alabama, and it is a predominantly white area. White supervisors, not somebody that can genuinely relate, and relating is a big part of the military just because if you don't have anybody that you can, talk to, nobody really understands where you're coming from. Like, I'm not saying that every white person is privileged, but they also don't go through what we go through on a regular basis.
What part does race play in the military from what the media has portrayed in your point of view?
Well, the list can honestly go on for that one. The media doesn't do a very good job at portraying, Black success. Like, they might say that they attempt to, they might sprinkle like one or two people in there, and it's just like, I get that we're not, a large part of the population, but yeah, we are. We make up enough to be, we need to be represented better. Like, there isn't enough representation, there isn't enough happening in our field. And that's not even just for Black people, that's for every minority. Like, there's no real representation. Like, we're all looking at the same thing every day.
The essential argument is still about access. At their worst, the military wraps itself in the flag and the media wraps themselves in the First Amendment, and neither party listens to the other.
Screaming fuck the law, here to serve and protect. Instead, keep their foot on our necks, abusing their power while we're in fear too. You think we like this killing? Think we like the drug dealing? Can't you see we've been conditioned since black codes try to enslave our souls, psychologically still weighs on us. Mental change shackle us, pledging the flag of our oppressors. The fuck is up? They fucked us up, now we don't even notice us. Yeah. Looking in the mirror, can't even see ourselves. No, we had the power to free ourselves. Yeah, you see the blessing in the skies. Fear God or fear I. Sky ain't the limit, these stories written.
How do you think the media portrays minorities?
Generally, I feel like the media portrays minorities in a negative light. And you can see this throughout history. You can go back to 1800s, pull up newspapers with articles, Negro, monkeys, people just dressed like clowns and blackface and stuff like that. It depends on what form of media you want to talk about, because in movies, for a long time, they only showed us as basketball players, fucking gangsters, stuff like that. Now, I feel like it's more subtle. There's a lot of roles that we still can't get in just entertainment. And the only thing that's highlighted still are actors, sports players, There's a lot of doctors, we got journalists, we got other people that are not highlighted.
Even today with social media, when you put out content, whether it's music or something for your clothing line, do you feel like there's pressure attached?
Personally, I don't feel that pressure, but I'm aware that it exists. That's the reason why a lot of kids growing up to try to act like a certain way or just produce content a certain way. So I try to like set trends, not follow trends.
So if you could give people of color one piece of advice, what would it be?
Be yourself, honestly. It works so much more. People are too afraid of saying what they want to do for the fact that it might not be cool. Just gotta be yourself.
Do you feel like we have a long way to go in order for minorities to feel equal to the rest of the world?
I do feel like we have a long way to go. And the reason why I say that is because even within ourselves as minorities, we already have this stereotype that is already with us. It's already implemented. I won't say implemented into us, but it is already within us. So the issue that I have with that is sometimes there's this common saying that, you know, you're the whitest black girl or you are the whitest black guy or something like that. And it just shows that we speak very intellectually. That's really the meaning behind it. But it has this negative connotation that only white people can speak this way, only the lighter race can speak that way, or the majority can speak that way. But we as black people or minorities are not educating ourselves that that's not the case. We can be better. So sometimes as a minority, we allow that stereotype to overcome us and not think about how we can actually better ourselves. So that already is a stop from us progressing, because within ourselves, we already are having issues. Once it is that we are able to progress as a race, then it would be possible that we can get that coverage on the media. We can progress as a race and we can show people that we are educated, we are smart, we know what it is that we're talking about, we're helpful, we're kind. We can do anything and we can be just as equal as the majority.
Do you think the media should do a better job in highlighting the meanings and symbolisms of tattoos instead of just judging a person for having them?
I think that would be too hard of a task for the media, because the people they do have that's already on the media with tattoos, you know, 6ix9ine, I don't know, Post Malone, you know, they're mostly rappers and they rap about violence. So the media already has a portrayal of people with tattoos. People are already going to make their decisions on people with tattoos. They're going to see this person with, you know, their physical characteristics of tats, and they're going to base that on their mental capability automatically. They're going to automatically think this person can't, you know, they're illiterate. That's their first thought. They're going to think, oh, this person is a druggie or a drug dealer. It's automatically going to be instilled in their head. And whatever they have on the media is, I mean, you don't see people that are nice people with tattoos on their face. You know what I mean? You don't see people going to college with tattoos on their face. This is not something you see. You don't go to Dwayne Reed's and see the guy in cashier with tattoos on his face, you know? Every time I apply for a job, I have to cover them. So, yeah.
Today, 36% of Americans aged 18 to 25 have at least one tattoo. That's more than 1/3 of America's young adults. It comes as no surprise that the tattoo industry is the 6th fastest growing retail business in America. Together, with the growing mainstream tattoo community, we anxiously await to see the crazy ways this industry will continue to develop and take over the culture.
Do you think the way the music industry is portrayed in the media is what it is like really in reality?
Yes and no, because I always say perception is reality. So how you look at things is often how you're gonna think things are. But a lot of things that we see in the media are how they goes. But there are a lot of people, like celebrities that like exist, or like world figures that you don't see a lot about them in like going on in the media. So that kind of like affects, because then you have to put your own reality on like what you think this person is doing or how you think this person is reacting to so and so. Just because they're not like an everyday person, you don't get like their reaction. They're not posting it every day, whereas you have some celebrities that do, and they give like their 2 cents on every situation that goes on. my grandmother tried to like keep me away of like a lot of the violent stuff that was going on in the media, but then also in doing that, it kind of kept me away from a lot of like the cultural stuff. So it was like I didn't really get to like have like the full impact, because they're like certain, like when you look back in the days from when we were like younger, there's certain movies that you say, oh, you watch this movie, you definitely like, it's like a cultured movie, and you know this movie, everybody's seen it, everybody knows like the impact that it's had.
Your father was Papa Wu, who is actually related to a lot of Wu-Tang Clan's members. Can you just tell me a little bit about him?
He was kind of like that person that they went to when they needed to like explanation on something, they wanted to gain knowledge, and he did a lot of like teachings to them just to make sure that like they were well versed in their mathematics and alphabetics, and they knew that they knew everything that was going on, and that they were able to teach it to the younger gods and everybody else that's coming up.
Growing up in the 80s and the 90s compared to now, there's definitely been a big difference, man. Back then, all we had is Michael Jordan to look up to, Michael Jackson to look up to. To us, those guys were gods. Seeing how the world is now, how society is now, you know, you pay your respects to them. You pay your respects to the Colin Kaepernicks of the world, to the LeBron James of the world, and what they've done to society, what they've done in media to make it worldwide, to make it, you know, where it is now. It's extremely powerful, man. We went to not having nothing at all to just having everything, to the skies being the limit to us, man. We have black businesses now. We have TV shows. We have movie stars. Everything is just we're a culture now within ourselves. Latin music, hip hop music. We basically rule the world in numbers. And that goes to show you our motivation as minorities that, you know, once we get equal footing, anything is possible, man. So yeah, there's been a big change, but we still have a long ways to go just to get that equal footing that we all want. Once we get that equal footing, man, then everything else is just fair game.